All right, what's going on, Legionnaires? Welcome to another episode of the Legion of Comic Correction. We are doing a good old-fashioned comic correction review today.
Comic correction.
Comic correction review.
It's a correction.
We'll get there.
It's a
comic correction review. We're going to talk about it. We're going to give it enough time to make sure that everybody says the things. Actually, you know what? I thought of a good way to do this because I know that we both get we all get very passionate about these things.
We don't get passionate. Nobody here gets passionate.
Nobody, right?
No one.
I don't get overly passionate, and I
really never said
happy.
the word overly.
I'm really happy today.
You added overly.
I'm excited.
Well, here's what I want to do. Here's what I think we should do.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because Marvel made a bad movie.
Here we go. Here's what we're going to do.
Marvel's made multiple bad movies.
Well, they made a really bad one with this one.
Well, so here's what we do.
That's your opinion.
When we go through
Everyone's opinion.
When we go through the correction, what we want to do is we're going to say two things we didn't like about the movie.
Okay.
And two things that we did like about the movie.
Are we going to give this like a compliment sandwich? Like,
yeah,
this is the thing you did well, and then this is the thing to improve upon.
For starters,
and now this is the thing that we're going to do well again.
For starters, Logan needs to say two things he liked about it because Greg and I did not mind the movie.
Two?
I thought it was a mediocre
Two
Marvel
things?
film.
I don't know.
Two
if I
things
can
you
get
liked
two
about it.
things.
I think
I don't know. If
you
I can
did. We
get two
talked about it when we were going. Well, anyway, all right. Let's jump into it. Think about it while we're jumping into it, while we're starting.
It's going to be hard.
We got to start.
For those of you who are wondering why we have a third voice here,
that's right.
Ox King is back. We have Harry here.
What it do?
He's working some soundboard magic for us. We're excited to have him because
upgraded.
Yeah, we've been doing stuff like all the time. Yeah, right. Give him a hand.
Right.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I want to shout out to my mom.
We've been doing a lot, and it's nice to have somebody at the table who knows what they're doing.
On the ones and twos.
Yeah, on the ones and twos. All right, well, before we get too far into it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell if you haven't already so you know what's going on and you don't miss a second of the
We're going to make
action.
a bell.
Make a bell.
We're making
Get
a bell noise.
Making the
We
bell
need a
noise.
bell.
I need, like, notes.
Like a ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, you need a notepad.
I got
Yeah,
this.
because we got... Oh, that's heavenly.
That's
very
heavenly.
nice.
That's how we'll be
Almost
if you
makes me feel
subscribe.
better about this movie.
If you haven't already, click our Patreon link to see what's going on our Patreon page.
Do
we
it.
have lots of new stuff coming up, especially as the 100th episode gets closer and closer and closer. Also, in the links down below, we have our link to the Movember page. So if you haven't checked that out, we're all sporting the stashes today.
Some of us better than others.
Some of us, yeah, it's true. It's true. Some of us don't have quite as much of a game. Logan's making us look bad. His mustache is fantastic. So if you haven't checked that out, check it out. Go back, listen to our previous episodes to get some more details. If you want to donate, we would love it. If you don't, just go on there to learn. We want you guys to learn. We want you guys to know what's going on.
That's right.
So click that link. It's awesome.
Get it.
Get it. All right. So we're going to jump in our comic correction as we always do. We'll start with our Carnage report. We'll go into our correction itself, and then we'll end out with a verdict. All right, so let's jump into our Carnage report.
Chainsaw noises. Death.
I am just going to put... We have sound effects for our title screen.
Oh, okay.
No. I'm going to put your voice over that, though.
Oh, okay.
Same animation. It's going to be
Same
chainsaw
animation.
noises. It's gonna be great.
Chainsaw noises.
All right.
Chainsaw noises.
All right, so we go through our box office. Again, this one looks a little bit different because it is something new. So it's still currently running, but we'll look at opening weekend.
Not just new. I mean, like, this is in the last
It's hot
week.
off the press.
Yeah, we're coming out.
We're
We're
actually
coming
late.
right out.
We are a little late, but we do.
A week.
Well, we like to wait. We like to wait. We like to wait a week because
spoilers and everything.
Yeah, we appreciate our fans. We don't want to give them spoilers, and we know they can't resist clicking on our videos.
It's true.
So we want to make sure
we
they
don't
see.
mind spoilers after years, but like
Yeah, but like a
spoilers
week.
Yeah, if
after
you haven't
a week
seen like
is
the
tough.
sequels of Star Wars yet, that's on you.
That's right.
That is on you.
You need to reevaluate
Exactly.
your life.
Thank you.
All right, so let's go into our Carnage for the budget and the gross and all that stuff right now. So at this point, domestic they brought in $85 million, so that's pretty solid.
Okay.
International they brought in $90 million, and worldwide they brought in $175,121,802.
I'm unimpressed. I do not care.
Well, it's not.
Do you know what that is?
bad.
Do you know what that is?
It's the third
No.
best opening.
Do you know why that is?
Because it's a Marvel movie.
Marvel movie. They
of
did
course.
not
But they
bring
got
this in for any other reason
They
than
got bad
MCU
press,
is in the title. Exactly.
But I mean, they got bad
Exactly.
press.
It's
and they
actually just
still
all
got it.
Logan.
All
Just all Logan's
Logan's
bad
been
press.
I have been
spamming
just
the reviews.
spamming the reviews.
Yeah. So
I didn't even see the movie, and I was spamming the reviews.
So it had a $200 million budget, which is pretty hefty.
Right. So they haven't
they
even made their money back yet.
No, but neither did Shang-Chi in the first weekend. So
I don't
that's
true.
No,
Shang-Chi was not just about the opening weekend.
Yeah. But there's only been a week.
No.
We'll see.
I think Shang-Chi made their money back
in the
opening weekend between
worldwide
and
domestic.
I think they made it worldwide.
We'll go back and look. If you guys know, let us know.
Like, to not make your money back on opening weekend?
That's normal in COVID. They haven't been doing it in COVID. Even
I don't know.
Dune didn't make its money back
nobody
in
made
opening weekend.
Yeah, but nobody
Black
was
Widow didn't
expecting
make
them
its
to
money
do
back in opening weekend. That was the first MCU movie in theaters.
Dune did make their money back in opening weekend.
They made over 100. Oh yeah, because the opening was so big.
Yeah,
because the limited runs. It's because they had all those limited runs.
Oh no, it's
because
Dune was a much better movie.
Well,
I do agree
with
that.
Yes.
Dune was a much better movie. All right, cast. We've got a pretty cool cast here. A lot of unknowns and some knowns. Gemma Chan, I love. So Gemma Chan came in as Cersei. Special fun fact there, she was actually in Captain Marvel. She was one of the Captain Marvel squads from Kree, like one of the soldiers. So she's played
true.
two.
She's played two characters,
but she was
green
in
the MCU. You're right.
In that, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow.
So Gemma Chan as Cersei. We got Richard Madden as Icarus.
Oh yeah.
And then we get some bigger names than
Icarus. Man.
So listen, I like Richard Madden's
him.
performance. I thought
I thought he had a pretty
Plus,
good
his accent is fantastic. And then we get bigger names. We have Angelina Jolie as Thena. We got Salma Hayek as Ajax.
My sentiments exactly.
Well, let's go. She was. I'm not a big Angelina Jolie fan. I'm not, but I thought she was better.
Does anyone?
I think there's fans out there.
I thought she
middle-aged men.
I thought she was.
I think she was better. I think she was better than I thought she was going to be.
No.
Who? Angelina Jolie?
In this
movie.
Did
you come in with no expectation and she was like just above that?
Yeah, it's Angelina Jolie. I don't really like her very much, but I thought she was pretty good. Anyway, Salma Hayek as Ajax, the leader of the Eternals. Kit Harington came in as Dane Whitman, otherwise known as the Black Knight.
They really booked him like pretty high.
For later. Yeah, he's all later. He was nothing in this movie.
And he was nothing.
But I'm excited for
Did they book
later.
him?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. Okay. He's Jon Snow.
No, I know who he is. Yeah. You had two Snow brothers there.
Yeah. Kumail Nanjiani came in as Kingo. We had Leah McHugh, who's pretty new to the acting scene, as Sprite. Brian Tyree Henry as Phastos. We had Barry.
He was good.
Yeah, he was great. We had Barry Keoghan as Druig. And then we had Ma Dao-seok as Gilgamesh. I probably ruined your name. I'm sorry, but you were fantastic.
Gilgamesh
was so good.
Ultimate punch.
Yes.
I'll give that out to that credit was out to Mike.
And
Mike said that, and I was cracking up last night.
Because he did. He had the best punches. And then we had
Falcon Punch.
Lauren Ridloff, who I love her, and I wish she was in it more, but she is she's
dirty.
Well, hopefully she'll be in the sequel, but like more so. I think she
was
will,
from Walking Dead.
I hope not. I hope there
she was in Walking Dead for.
Well, so she's a survivor at the end of the movie, so I hope that she's in the second one. But she is.
I don't need a sequel. Thank you.
She is legally deaf, and they worked in her sign language and everything throughout the movie. And
that was phenomenal.
Super cool. And
Apparently,
the whole team knew sign language for it, which was super awesome.
Well, if you don't know sign language after 7,000 years.
Yeah, right.
That's embarrassing.
You're trying not to learn.
You're trying not to learn. Yeah, if you're hanging with somebody who knows.
You're actively working against, I actually don't want to hear what you have to say.
I was laughing because, I knew that she was legally deaf because of
real life.
Because of Walking Dead when I watched it.
Right.
And the part that made me laugh was in that was like a universal language that they knew for 7,000 years or whatever. And obviously they said that was why it was used on Earth or in the human race was because they taught it to us.
She showed it to them.
Right, they taught it to us. But it's also when they when they were leaving at one point or they're in their spaceship moving around, they're like, "Oh, we're 3 hours out." I'm like, "Why are they using hours? Can't they can you just get a little bit of better writing? Be like, we're 3 random increment of time or whatever used. It's like we're gonna use hours.
It's the same thing as in Guardians. Everybody speaks English.
Right.
They don't. Peter probably doesn't even speak English at this point because he's been with Yondu forever.
Where's Druid from? In real life?
Oh, the guy. I want to say
Irish?
His background.
He's somewhere. Maybe Wales.
Wait, maybe Welsh.
Welsh would be
say North Wales. Yeah, North Wales.
North Wales.
Yeah,
maybe Welsh.
Next to Bluebell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was weird.
Just outside of Philly.
It was a very it was a very subtle accent.
Right. It was like he was talking to them, and then he would say bathroom. It's like what?
Yeah. It was cool. I liked it.
Where are you from?
It wasn't bad. Yeah.
From where do you hail?
Where are your people from?
They think Olympia, but not really.
Nope.
All right, so Eternals source material. So they were pretty true to the source material. I know we were talking about this.
Who cares?
Same as Guardians, where it's like not many people knew it, though. I think I agree with you that
garbage source material.
You have not read it. You don't know.
I don't care. I don't care.
You can't talk about it because you haven't read it.
Greg, have you read it?
I don't care.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like one of my favorite runs.
I didn't read this one.
Really? This is one of your favorite runs?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's really
a novel.
Is. Listen, I will let you borrow it.
You can let me borrow it. And you know what I'm going to do? Not read it.
You should read it because you might actually like it.
Nope.
You know why? It's because you're afraid you'll like it.
No, I'm not afraid I'm going to like it.
He's afraid.
Honestly, it's probably true.
So number one, I don't fear a thing in this world.
Well, then,
that's number one.
I'll
except
bring it over
maybe
and you can
Gilgamesh.
read it.
Ultimate
So
punch.
that's number one. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two.
Yeah, let me hear it. Number two.
I would not say.
Where's the fart sound effect?
Go against any source material. But this was not good.
Well, no.
If
so
they stuck true to source material here, this was boring.
So listen.
Source material.
So no, the way they came to the convergence is not source material.
That was. Well, then why did you just say it's true to the source material?
Let me finish the sentence.
Can't even get the words out.
Let me finish the sentence.
So frustrated.
You could, that's. Well, if you would listen to the rest of the sentence, you might understand.
Go ahead.
Logan doesn't do that.
I know.
I don't need to hear the rest of the sentence.
I have headphones on for no reason. I don't need to hear you.
I don't need to hear it.
All right.
I don't need to hear it.
So the reason why I'm saying this is because it is correct in where they came from, why they were there, who the Deviants were, what their purpose on Earth was, and
true purpose.
their true purpose.
Okay.
Yeah. What the Celestials' plan for Earth was.
Yeah.
So in all of that,
I saw you in the theater next to me.
Oh yeah, with the scene.
Yeah. Like 18 times.
Yeah.
They would do something. Yep. Okay.
Exactly right. There it is.
Here's the reason.
I'm just like, I'm glad you know something about this because nobody else in this theater knows.
Well, there was
doesn't make any sense to me at all.
There were like 3 people in the theater. Here's why.
Yeah,
because,
not a high percentage.
Here's why. Eternals first debuted in 1976, and it was it was created by my favorite comic book personality, Jack Kirby. So the King Kirby created the Eternals. He's incredible.
Kirby's amazing.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And the Eternals run is just phenomenal. And so the characters and where they come from and their mission was based on King Kirby. All right. The rest of it, or the idea of the celestial seed in Earth, was coming from a comic run called Earth X, which continued on to Universe X and Paradise X. It was written by Jim Kruger. And the artwork in the first series in Earth X was done by a guy called John Paul Leon, who is one of my favorite comic book artists. Really, really incredible. And all the cover art was done by Alex Ross. So if you know Alex Ross,
I've heard of it.
Really, really great, that photorealistic
So I can get behind a lot of what you are saying.
So all that source was fantastic. So I was excited. The reason why I was tracking with it was I was so excited for the fact to see something like King Kirby's Eternals on the screen.
Sure.
And yes, I am disappointed with the ending. I'm disappointed with the end result. Yes.
Thank you.
No, okay. So, but I don't think
what are we arguing about then?
I'm not arguing. I just don't think it's as bad as you think it is.
I think it is terrible.
Right. So I think it was not as good as it should have been for the Eternals, because of my love for the Eternals and the source material.
So it's an expectation thing. That's the difference.
For sure.
Is you came in with zero expectations and left with
less.
I don't know if it's an expectation thing, and here's the reason why. We talked about this on the drive home last night.
Well, wait. Before you get into that, let's actually jump into our comic correction, because that's the end of our source. We want to get to the main. We need to play that title card.
Fair,
man. All right, so let's get into the correction. All right, so comic correction. We're going to talk a little bit about what we liked, what we didn't like about it. Again, spoilers. If you haven't seen it, go see it, even though I know Logan will tell you not to go see it.
Don't go see it.
Go see it because it's part of the MCU. You got to see it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's not worth
it. Was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
It is not. It is not a good movie.
Yeah.
Okay, what would you compare it to?
What
would you compare it to outside of Marvel?
Had I not had to do this podcast, I would have fallen asleep and taken a nap because I was exhausted because we went at freaking midnight.
No. We went at 10 o'clock. We
went at 10
left
o'clock.
at 1 in the morning.
We left at 1
We left at 1 in the morning. Now, there was literally 27 minutes of trailers.
There was too many
trailers. It was 10:27 before the movie
started. At least the chairs were more comfortable than what we've been experiencing
part
lately.
of why I would have fallen asleep.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it was
absolutely.
Now, here...
to answer that question, can you answer that question for me?
Yeah.
What would you
movie
compare
would I
that to
compare
outside of the Marvel realm?
Right, yeah, good
It's
call.
a really good
good question.
So here's what I would need to try and track it towards.
Okay.
I need to figure out a movie that had a story that could have been told in an hour 45, 2 hours.
Right, we agree it was too long.
That was extended in a movie.
Extended
right.
to be a 2 hours and 45-minute movie.
Right, where you could have cut and not
I
lost quality.
I need to take a minute to think about what other movie probably falls into that category.
Right.
Okay.
I would probably say maybe Tom Hanks' Big.
Oh, I love Big. What?
What?
What are you doing?
Maybe Splash.
You don't even get a full applause for that.
Waterworld.
Waterworld?
What?
Waterworld.
That is a
right?
good,
Maybe
yes.
Waterworld.
What about
Waterworld?
Yes, Waterworld would be a good one.
Yeah, maybe Waterworld.
That is a good comparison.
Where it would have been
I don't
better
know.
if it was shorter.
Yeah.
What about here? Well, you could do another.
This
about
movie-
Wide Earp.
Which one? The
Wide
full
Earp.
epic?
The
full
Wide
epic?
Earp,
Now,
the
4-hour movie.
Yeah.
4-hour movie with Kevin Costner.
With
Right.
Kevin Costner.
I love that movie.
Compared to like a Tombstone.
Tombstone.
But I mean, it's an actual.
But
They're both great,
So the
though.
two,
They're both great.
I actually don't think that's a good
They're
comparison
both so
because
good.
Wyatt Earp, the movie was meant to tell his whole life.
That's true.
Where Tombstone was just
A snippet
the story of
this-
Tombstone.
Yeah.
That's true.
Um,
That's true.
And both
I don't
so
know.
good.
I gotta
They were
think
both
a little
so good.
bit.
I don't know if I'd want to shorten Wide Earp.
No, I wouldn't want to shorten
Like, that
Wyatt
one
Earp.
was that
Fine.
one.
Dancing with Wolves. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean,
Last of the
won
Mohicans.
that one an Oscar.
Mohicans.
I mean, here's the thing. I
Yeah.
don't believe this was an expectations issue because
Okay. Yeah, I
my
think you genuinely didn't like it.
expectations were tempered by the fact that we started seeing negative reviews come in
Right.
about it. I had high hopes. I had very high hopes for it
At the beginning.
When
we first saw the first
when we
trailer.
first saw
and stuff.
the first trailer,
Yeah, it
I
looked
was
great.
really excited.
See, I'm not gonna lie. I actually was the opposite.
He was
Really?
So he was.
Yeah.
You know what? He was most excited though. He was most excited.
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, Angelina
yeah,
Jolie. That's
Angela,
right.
of course.
He gets
Yeah.
out there every movie. Every movie he watches.
I
on
believe
repeat.
you've heard me on
Beowulf,
this.
all
You've
the-
heard me on this podcast
Beowulf.
talk about the high quality acting of Angelina
Mr. and
Jolie.
Mrs. Smith. All
Oh
those.
man, classic. Her and Brad
Pitt.
Brad
It's like a
Jelena?
it's like a family
No,
reunion.
family
To-
reunion. Well, I
truth-
wish Brad Pitt would have been Icarus.
True.
Oh my god!
Actually, he wouldn't have been a bad Icarus.
he
probably would've been pretty
He wouldn't
decent.
have been a bad. Well,
Yeah.
but
I like
anyway, the
Madden,
reason
though. I
why
he
like
would
he
have
was
played him almost exactly
reason-
like
the reason why
like he
he
did
was
Achilles.
the reason.
That's
Oh,
true.
that would have been great.
yeah.
The reason why he was most excited was because we originally believed that this movie would damn the Avengers
Yes.
decision to use
Right.
time travel.
Yes.
So that was that
They
was
brought
what
it
got
up,
you most
but-
hyped.
Yeah, but yet it
And-
was only a footnote.
Right,
Yeah,
and
it
it
was.
was a problem.
They really
in
should
the
have expanded on that.
conversation. Exactly.
Yeah, well, and
So-
especially because that's a personal thing for you. Because
Yes,
you
so-
hate time travel.
Right, that's a
That is
vendetta.
that
That
is
wasn't
one why
there.
I was excited
Yeah.
about the movie because they made in the first trailer a big deal about the snap, not
right. They wanted to
Thanos'
connect it
snap,
to
but
right
Hulk's
Bruce's snap. Yeah,
And so I was really excited for them to tell that story of the impact of the
Right.
snap
Right.
beyond the short-term vision of the Avengers bringing back all of those people
Right.
And they did
without
mention it.
thinking years have passed now
Right.
and the world has moved on and changed.
Right. Well,
And they didn't think about that.
the bigger
they didn't think
issue-
how that would play out.
and the biggest issue of that was that all that population boom then fed the celestial seed on like steroids.
Right.
It got
Right.
him ready for the
It got him
convergence,
closer.
like, right
Yes.
there. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah, so I was initially excited for that.
Yeah.
But then all of the reviews came in.
Yeah,
and it had at one point a 32% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
So
we didn't look that up. Keep talking.
I tempered my perspective on it. So I did not go in with high expectations. However, what I believe the issue is we told a story. Number one, we told a story that could have been done in an hour 45, 2 hours, and we stretched it out.
Yes.
And it was overdone.
This is where we agree. So we were talking a little bit last night. Oh, and I looked up the Rotten Tomatoes. So right now, critics score is a 47%.
Mm-hmm.
Audience score is an 80%.
Yeah,
so but I get that because I think there are more King Kirby fans out there that are going and just kind of enjoying the fact they get to see the Eternals on screen. Like I think that's probably boosting it a little bit. But
that's the other problem. Here's the other problem. That's the other side of my argument. You and I talked about this last night.
Oh yes, but before you get there, let's wrap up your first point because your first point's a good point.
Yeah.
So and it's one that we agree with. Yeah, there's good points going on. It was what?
I said you got too many points.
No, that's good. Well, I want to hear him out. This is good. And these are good
two.
These are his 2 points. Yeah. No, they're fine.
2 daggers in the coffin.
So the first one I do agree with. Though here's the deal. Here's what's funny because I was thinking about this. So and for those of you guys who don't know, Logan and my process in getting ready for these is like we will watch something and then if we like go to see a movie in it and then we drive home together, we will just scream the entire ride home.
Yep, pretty much.
And then just kind of like vent about the movie, whether we liked it or not.
Right, right.
And I think thinking back
positive
over
or negative.
That,
I'm yelling either way.
Positive or negative, for sure.
Happy shouts or sad shouts?
You're yelling, and I'm yelling just so that I can actually hear myself.
Right, you can get over my... True. You can get it.
Get
a word in edgewise.
But what I found is that I think the two of us had pretty much the same takeaways. It's just... It affected you in a more drastic outcome of your perception of the movie than it did me.
Time wasted.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So
time wasted for you and a little disappointment for Greg.
Right.
Yeah.
So because I think
that's a good point.
Yeah, both
that
points.
That is a good point.
Both points that you have, I agree 100% with.
Right.
I just don't think it knocked the film down as much as you think it did.
Oh,
you think it knocked it way down.
You're exactly right. I see it in the
Logan's is a 1 or a 0. Yours is a percentage.
Right.
Yeah.
Yours is a pass fail. Mine is a curve.
Right.
Yeah, so
that's a good point. That is a good point because
your first point.
I can't get those hours back.
And I don't want them back because it was fun enough. Your first point, I agree with in that. So, and we talked about this last night. I think other than, and we'll talk about it at the end because we both agree on this one 100%. Other than that one moment in the film at the end, which we agree with, for the most part, I would say 99% of what they tried in the movie was fantastic. Like that, there was good ideas. They were trying really good stuff.
I don't know about that high of a percentage,
but
a
lot of it.
They tried on a lot of stuff, and I give them credit for that.
Right, and they were good ideas. Like, they were good concepts. We were like, okay, that's a good concept. That's a good concept.
Yeah.
But for the most part, for most of those things, they all went too long.
Oh, entirely
They all went too long. So it's like,
Yeah.
this is a really good idea, and then it's like beating a dead horse. It's like, they just went way too long. And they went way too long. It was like, oh, this is great. Don't drag it out. Now it's not as good.
Doing this?
Yeah, and so it's like they had good ideas, and most of them went too long.
Yeah.
Your second point, though. Your second point is also good, and I agree with
my second point is, up to this point, most MCU movies, the audience you are appealing to are people who have read the comics, for the most part. People really like...
I would say now it's 50-50. I wouldn't say
but hear me out. Early. I'm talking.
Okay.
Captain
when they're
America,
starting out.
Thor,
Iron Man.
Black Widow. Oh, wait, no, that came out 10 years later.
10 years
That's
late.
weird.
10 years late? Yeah, sorry.
Those
Scarlett
are
Johansson.
characters that people have read about. They've at least done some dabbling in.
Right.
Like, they have explored
they had cartoons
their
of them already.
storylines.
We knew it.
They have some background on them.
Yeah, Hulk, Thor, Captain America, Black Widow.
This movie
Hawkeye?
does not have the same fan base.
Right, doesn't have the
these characters don't have the same fan base as a Thor, a Spider-Man,
right?
Because
it's a group. It's not a singular person.
But it's also more
a niche
obscure.
Group.
It's a niche group.
Nobody.
Definitely.
Who's read the Eternals comics?
Like, I have not.
I read them because they're the new gods and dark side of the Marvel universe. Like that's why I love. I read everything Kirby, but not everybody did.
Here's the issue with that.
Yeah.
When you are making a movie, you have to appeal to your audience. Your
masses.
audience, when you're making an Iron Man movie, is people who have read Iron Man.
Right.
Your audience, when making an Eternals movie, is not people who have read the Eternals.
It can't
because
Yeah.
not many people have read the Eternals.
Right.
So you have to make a movie that appeals to me, not to Greg.
Right.
Greg has read the Eternals. I have
apparently
not.
they didn't do either.
But
they did more for me.
They did
like,
more
I would,
so
I would
for
go
him
see
than
it.
they did
I
for
would go
me.
see it again. He's
I
not
would
going
not.
to.
Yeah, but you're still disappointed with it.
Sure,
Exactly.
But to a degree. But I see the potential, and I'm excited for where they're going. He doesn't even want to see a sequel.
I don't care.
Like they alienated him.
I do not care
I'm
about
still
this
invested.
movie.
Do you think, no matter how bad it would have been, so say it was actually, according to Logan, it is bad. But I'm saying,
Right.
if it was not as bad, or if it was worse, quote unquote, than what people are saying it is now, would you still be like, I still want to see a sequel? It's like, so say the Batman.
Yeah.
So say the Batman
Yes, this
fails.
is a good question.
Yeah, it's a good
This
question.
is
Say
a
the
good
Batman
question.
flops.
You still
Everyone's
wanna
like,
see a Batman
why is
Yep.
Robert Pattinson Batman? Okay, say it's the same. Everyone else is the same, right? But they swap out, Pattinson or something like that, or they just adjust it where he's not as like whatever he is going to be.
Yeah.
That is a perfect example. That is
Logan
a
will
perfect-
still be,
Justice
and
League was terrible.
right.
I still
you'll
wanted
still
to
see
we
see
still
more
want, right.
Well, but
because
here,
I saw. Listen,
yeah.
I saw potential
Right.
in
Yeah.
all of those individual
And-
characters. Jason Momoa
Right.
as Aquaman, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman.
Right.
I said his name wrong again, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Oh my God.
Momo.
Jason Momoa.
Jason
Momoa.
Remember,
Either way, my point is made.
Think the southern version of my mower.
Momoa.
Momoa.
But hear me
Jason
out.
Momoa.
This is
yeah.
a perfect example.
No, I 100% agree.
Justice League
Yeah.
and the Eternals are two teams.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Justice League was a terrible movie, but I saw the potential in each of those
Yes.
individual characters.
Yes.
They tried.
To want
Yeah.
to
They tried.
do
Yeah,
more
they
and
did.
want to
Yeah.
see more. I'm not going to get that because that was trash. And
Right.
they didn't do the Snyder Cut, which we've talked about.
Right.
The
yeah,
problem with the
that's
Snyder Cut
go watch the old
is
videos.
an issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But
Yeah.
with the Eternals, you see potential where
Yes.
I see none.
Right, and there are people that don't know the Justice League that wouldn't go back for it because they don't have that
Right.
investment. So
Right.
I would say
So we're in the same boat as a Justice League.
I would say
But
the
worse.
Eternals was better than the Justice League.
I would not.
Yeah. So here's the deal. So I would say that
And part of that could be
the bias.
the bias.
I have a bias.
Right.
For
Well,
sure.
both
of
of you have
Read
bias.
it,
Yeah.
and I have a bias
right.
because
Because
I've
you
read
haven't.
everything about the Justice League.
Well, and because you haven't read Eternals.
Right, exactly.
yeah.
Well, you've read Justice League, but
Right, I read Justice League. So,
Yeah.
so the thing is, though, I would say that if the Eternals hit the level of the first Suicide Squad bad, I wouldn't want to see anymore. I would just say
but
start
Yeah,
over.
but that's
but that is
So
what?
he- so- but he
that is
asked
a
me-
perfect example. We talked about that last night.
Yeah, right.
The Suicide Squad, the
Yeah.
David Ayer's Suicide Squad,
Yes.
at least had the decency to be a shorter bad movie.
That's true.
At least
Yeah.
it was 2 hours,
But again,
and we
I
were
didn't
out.
think it was like I didn't think the. But again, we're coming at we're never gonna sit on the same end of this because
No, we're not.
We're coming at like I don't
Because
think
there's
it was
a right
everywhere
end, which
near.
is mine, and then there's a wrong end, and that's yours.
All right. So okay. So let's go. We've heard you're too bad. Like you're too like this is what was like really.
Those are my. I would.
Those are your
Those
pinnacle
are my
bads.
points.
Your
those
pinnacle
are just
bads,
like
though.
the pinnacle points of this
Yeah.
movie that are a problem.
So tell me, was there anything you liked about the movie?
I liked individual characters, but
yeah, be specific.
not
though.
even like
Tell the
they're
fans.
Good. I don't even feel
Who'd
like
you
they
like?
had good storyline development. So, for example, I like Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh
Yeah,
had
he was
cool
great.
powers.
I think
Yeah.
everyone liked
And-
Gilgamesh.
Everybody liked Gilgamesh. Yeah, man.
He was funny. He was
Yeah.
Who else
He
did I
had a
like?
cool apron.
He did have a cool apron.
He had a cool apron.
Yeah.
He was
And he
fun.
Making
He
some
made-
pies.
he
He
made
was really
spit-
he was protective of
spits
Angelina
alcohol.
Do you
Jolie.
think he actually did, or he was just saying that?
I
Even
think
if
he
you
was
didn't
just saying
fully
that,
understand
just-
why
yeah.
he was protective of Angelina
Yeah, he was,
Jolie,
but he was a protector, and I also
There was
I know
duty.
I know you were sad. You were sad that we're not going to see more of him.
Right.
But I do think, though, it was I liked his ending. I liked him giving him. I liked how he went out. Like I thought it was cool.
Mm-hmm. And then I can't remember all of their names because I don't care about remembering any of their names.
Give me the actor or actress.
I like the comic relief character.
Oh, Kumail Nanjiani?
Yeah.
He was great.
Yeah,
he was
fantastic.
great. What was his character's name?
Oh my goodness.
Kingo. So I liked him.
And you liked Fastos too.
And I liked Fastos because I think Fastos you made a personal connection with his family.
Yeah, being a father
and the difference, seeing the pain of Hiroshima. He had a good storyline.
Oh, that was phenomenal.
He had good storyline.
That was phenomenal.
That is true. His writing was probably the best.
His writing was the best probably out of everyone.
When Ajax brings him to Hiroshima and he's like,
Hiroshima.
I showed and the whole
in
the past he's like, I want to push them farther. And she's like, don't push them too far. Don't give them too much. And then he ends up giving them too much. They make the atomic bomb, and it's like, this is what they're capable of. Like that. Yeah, that was sick.
That and then his redemption with his family. That I liked.
Yeah.
That I liked. But I only liked individual storylines. There's every one of those examples, there are also terrible examples of character development for each of the other ones.
That's true.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And you have to take there's some give and take. You have to be like, you can't.
No, because there were more bad ones than there were good ones. There were at least 5 other Eternals who were garbage in terms of their storyline development.
And that's
I
where
don't
we disagree.
I don't mean that they were garbage in terms of that I didn't appreciate some of what was done.
Sure.
It did not meld well with all of the other stories. It didn't make sense where they spent their time to then kill off some of the characters who you're no longer going to even see anymore. And they spent all this time talking about them and developing them. And then Icarus flies into the friggin' sun.
Okay, that's a different story. I know you were mainly talking about Ajax, Salma Hayek's
yes,
character.
I was mainly talking about Ajax.
And I know
who
that
was
you
dead at the start.
Right, we knew that she was...
Spoiler.
Yeah, well,
she did.
We knew that she was going to die. We were pretty sure she was going to die.
And then we see all of the development about her character.
But so I personally liked that.
We know she's dead.
I liked all the back because, again, and we talked about this last night, but she was the catalyst for the growth of Circe and Icarus, and we got to see that through the cool flashbacks. And Ajax was never meant to continue on because Icarus and Circe are the main. So like she was just there to be that
and
mentor figure
fine
for
with
both
that,
of them.
But then Icarus flies himself into the sun at the end.
Yeah, that made no sense. I think he's still alive.
Well, he's not dead.
He didn't.
He's
no one
back.
ever dies.
I think.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But again, people did in this one though. Because
they'll come back.
I don't think.
Do you want to know why? No, they've already talked about how they're coming back.
The Eternals?
Yes.
Time travel.
No, not time. Oh my gosh! If they do time travel,
and that's it today.
We're done.
They were created.
That's
true.
They could make more.
But their memories.
But their memories. Yeah, but they're not the same.
They will be the same, except for this most recent time on Earth, because all of their memories everywhere else are still stored.
Yeah, but again, that's
true.
The ones we know. I don't think that maybe they'll bring them back as villains.
Every single time somebody tells me somebody is dead.
Yeah, but that's in every
that
comic
they
book
always bring them back.
That's
and
in
you want to know
every
why?
comic movie,
there was also. Did you know there was an alternate ending in Black Widow?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know what the alternate ending was?
Yeah. What's her name? Didn't die. What was it? Remind me.
It was that Black Widow was going to respond back to her sister's whistle at the end when she was in.
Really?
That she's not dead.
Oh, I didn't read
she's
that.
She's not
one.
dead. Yeah,
I didn't read that one. That was not the one.
I made a bet with one of my coworkers that within the next, I think it was 5 years, that we would have a confirmation that Scarlett Johansson or
she's coming back.
The Black Widow is coming back.
Coming back.
Well,
back
yeah,
100%.
I think I bet like $50.
I won't even. I won't even take that bet because I'm on your side.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that.
But here's the thing. And again, I know you don't like that, but that's every comic book movie and every comic book character. Like all of them.
Agreed.
Since Death of Superman. Bringing them back.
I think we
watched the was it Gotham Knights? We're excited for that game.
Yeah.
It starts out. Bruce Wayne is dead.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna be alive.
And it's like he's not dead.
We were excited about that game because now it's not like a 4-person co-op on local.
Oh my gosh, it was.
You have to have
so
like.
upsetting.
I think it's all multiplayer. You have to have separate systems for each one.
4 separate systems?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. You may be able to, because you can't remember, because we were like, oh, dude, we could do 4-way split screen or 2-way split screen with 2 systems.
Yeah, with 2 systems.
Okay, we've gotten off track.
Anyway, real quick.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
To answer your question, or to answer my question to see if this is a good idea or good comparison, would be, I don't know if any of you did. I only read, like, the first graphic novel, or I guess comic, because then it would be conglomerate graphic novel.
Yeah.
The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the comics are great.
Of something that could have been told in series of, like, 7 series, or 7 seasons.
Right, like 13.
And it would have been, like, really good, and now we're at...
How many is it? Let me see.
13 or 14.
Yeah,
at least.
no, you're probably right. That's probably a really good example.
That's like 6 or 7 extra seasons for absolutely no reason. Just money grabbing.
10 seasons.
Yep.
10 seasons?
10 seasons.
There's got to be more than 10 seasons.
That's what it's saying. 10 seasons. They're on season 10.
I know.
I don't. Either way, it's too many seasons for
it is
the
way
storyline
right.
that needs to be told. And that is a good example.
Right. Oh, no. They're going into their 11th. So 10 ended. They're going into their 11th.
Either way, that's
a lot.
That's unnecessary.
Right. That's not a movie, but it is.
And that's
something
but
it's got a comic. It's got a comic.
That's the idea of taking something that
just stretching the crap out of it.
Yeah. And I get it.
Pulling it apart.
Taking that rolling pin.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. But so let's wrap it up. We don't want to I mean, other than
we didn't do 2
use.
Well, you didn't do.
Well,
I said 2 bad things.
Good things.
Oh.
No, you said some
I
good
didn't get to
things.
do my 2 bad things.
You did some good things.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah,
am I allowed to tell my?
Yeah, of course.
Hit it.
No, you're not.
Number 1 thing, Angelina Jolie in a Marvel movie.
Bad thing, you're saying.
Yeah, bad thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
what the heck was that?
Agreed. Established that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that's my number 1.
Your number 1 bad thing.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Harry can't get.
I just can't get past it.
Goodness.
Like why?
Fair.
And then number 2, there was just too many like I don't know. Well, certain scenes in the movie, I was just like, why? But like the just like Cersei, and I get there has to be some type of like intimacy that they're like breaking up and this and that and like relationships.
I didn't mind that at all. Their romantic
You didn't mind that?
No, I didn't buy it.
Oh.
Well, no, I didn't buy their relationship.
What do you mean?
It was just, it happened like 8 times in the movie of them just
Yeah,
them
yeah.
two.
Good
And
example of it being stretched out
It's
way
like-
too much.
Not necessarily.
there was like 8 scenes between Icarus and Cersei's, then Icarus, Cersei's, and Sprite,
right.
and then Sprite and Cersei's, and Sprite and Kamar.
Yeah, Nanjiani. Yeah. Bingo.
So it's just like there was like,
And even Richard Madden.
I get it. They were like
Richard Madden, Kit Harington.
Right.
He also
Yeah.
was kind of
Yeah.
in it as well.
it's about
Yeah.
family. I get that, and like that's how they're supposed to be compared to. Like
Thank
they're a
you, Vin.
family, but it's just too much when they're having. You're supposed to be having like backstory. Like there's no backstory. There's not much character development. Like Ajax had 0 character development. And I get that she was not, like you were saying, she's not necessarily like
they wanted to
one
show
of the biggest
more
characters.
of
She's
how
more
she influenced
right. She's like the
Icarus and Cersei.
Phoenix.
Right.
She's
Yeah.
she dies so that another Phoenix can come out, aka Icarus and
Cersei.
Cersei's. I
Yeah.
get that, but also like the relationship between her and Arisham. What's his name?
Oh yeah, the
Celestial. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like she's like, I was the most trusted. Like he said, you are now
she
deemed
was
the
like
most
the
trusted
liaison. Yeah.
Eternal for all of them.
This right here is a perfect example. All
Yeah.
of this is why this wasn't a good movie.
But I still
right, and you needed
enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, and a lot of those cracks were filled in if you knew the background. But like you're saying, that's not what they should be selling it to.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
the same as like so Guardians, when they made Guardians, very few people, more people knew about Guardians than know about Eternals, most likely. But when the movie came out, when Guardians movie came out,
Yeah.
they literally reshaped the comics around the movie and created something
Right.
that would appease people who didn't know them.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're very different than the original comic book characters of the Guardians of the
And you
Galaxy.
have to do that
And they
with
did
them
that.
because
Yeah,
Guardians
because they were unknown.
Guardians is
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
they're
They were
not
unknown.
appealing to the same audience.
Right, exactly. All right, so you mentioned some good things as well. I really like the Celestial Seed in Earth. That's a really cool shot to the comic fans of Earth X and the idea
Sure,
of
I
the
don't think
Celestials.
that was really
I thought that was
bad.
cool. I liked
Yep.
the ending where they had to create the mind meld, like the mind connection, and they had to to overcome it, and she changed the matter and everything. I thought that was pretty cool. So there was
but my issue with that is not actually an issue with that storyline or that problem that they are that they have to overcome. That's not really my issue with it. My issue with it was they did that instead of addressing the storyline with time travel. And
you just want that time travel
I need that.
I need that gone.
I need that retconned.
Hey,
I need it
I will
fixed.
say though,
I need it addressed, and they don't really do it.
They listened to you. They did.
Why?
You know why? There was another reason. Another reason why our studio is bugged by Marvel, because they are It's probably in the Hulk hands back there.
That's
in the Hulk hands.
That's a good place for it.
Yeah. But they listened to you because if you remember at the end of Shang-Chi, you were like, I wish it wasn't just a big CG monster battle. I wish there was a little more like a humanoid representation of the monster.
True.
Right? And in this, the monster became more humanoid so that you actually cared for that. And Icarus became a very major conflict at the end. So it was a person fighting a person, and it was much more grounded.
That is very true.
And I was like, oh, man, they listened to Logan. This is exactly what he hoped the Shang-Chi would kind of been pushing more towards.
Yeah, but I even wanted more
I'm
that.
sure.
Of that
the monster
Deviant
thing. Oh, he was so cool.
Because had he absorbed more, I'd wonder what he'd become. Yeah.
Though it was sick, I did like, and I know none of us really liked Angelina Jolie in this movie.
I did like that part,
but I liked the fact that
chip chop chip.
Yeah. And this goes back to Gilgamesh.
Because
I like the fact that the creature was trying to use Gilgamesh's words against her, but it actually was the final key to unlocking her memory and stabilizing her mind, and then she just chopped him in half, and like all the slices through his face.
Right. That was
scene sick. I was like,
almost
all right, that's cool.
made up for her being in a Marvel.
Well, you know why? You know why?
Almost.
You know why? Because she probably didn't do that stunt, and she didn't say anything, and just it was over.
Pretty much.
That's very true.
Sick. And it builds on the fact that Gilgamesh was awesome.
Yes,
but I also thought that they should have played. That was something else I kind of had a problem with. It was that Deviant. You were like, oh, he's the big bad kind of, but then he kind of is coming up next to them, and when they're going against Icarus, and then they just kill him.
Yeah,
and that's it.
They didn't even it wasn't even a big back
bad
and
was
forth or a conversation
about
why he's then helping them against Icarus.
Well, I don't think he was helping them against Icarus. I think he was just trying to kill all of them.
Yeah,
I think
I want all of
them.
He wanted Icarus's powers because Icarus was freaking OP.
That's true.
That's
Icarus
why he wanted
is OP.
Well, he's Superman.
Yeah, well, I also like that they made a Batman reference and a Superman reference, which is really funny because that means Batman and Superman exist in comic book form in the MCU.
In the MCU,
yeah.
Which I think is really cool.
That is pretty cool.
All right, let's do our verdict. We're going to talk about it. You probably know where Logan stands, and you probably know where Harry and I stand, but we're going to do our verdict here so that y'all can know for sure.
It's funny because usually you and I are on the same page.
I know. I'm disappointed in you. I'm disappointed in you.
All right. You go first, Logan.
It was a correction. It was a correction. I know how much power you have in this thing.
It was a correction.
It was a correction for me.
Give me your main succinct point as to why. Just wrap it up for us.
I feel like they appealed to the wrong audience, and I also feel like this was an overstretched story that could have been done in a much shorter period of time and could have been possibly better. And it's also not the story I expected them to be covering, because the trailer made such a big deal out of the snap and the impact of that, and in the movie, it was just glossed over. So, everything, all of those three things made this a really difficult movie for me to watch.
All right, Harry? Verdict time. What do you think? Correction is what it is, or perfection?
Come on, Harry.
It's definitely not perfection.
No, it's not. It's not perfection. No, we know that. We know that.
Come on, Harry. Come on.
Last night,
Come on
I'll
home.
jog your memory. You gave it a 6.5.
Come on home.
I did give it a 6.5.
Come on home.
No. Unfortunately, have to give it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a reason why you have
I just personally think that this movie, I think it is a movie that is outside of the MCU. It is outside of the MCU. People besides Greg.
But it's not outside of the MCU.
I know it's not. But how we're going to be treating it is that it's a movie outside the MCU. Because I think outside the MCU...
It was a fine movie, yeah.
It was a good movie. I thought it was a good movie. It was a 6.5. That's what I gave it last night.
Treat it outside of the MCU.
Say his verdict. This is his verdict.
I hear what you're saying.
Let him say
you know what? Where's your microphone? I'm just gonna mute this real quick.
Cut off my mic. I will take other mics and continue speaking.
I will break.
There are not enough mics.
Let him finish. So go ahead. Yeah. So so you're saying outside of a Marvel movie, you thought it was a fine movie.
I think because of the lack of cult following compared to the Avengers, to even if you brought it over to the DC, to the Justice League, to Batman, to Superman, to even Flash, or like anything like that, you have to treat this like a movie outside of the MCU. Just like Deadpool. When Deadpool first came out, people were like, "Who is this dude?" Except for people that were like, "You don't know who Deadpool is?" Like, what did people see? What did they see first?
Reynolds, man.
What did they see first? They saw the Deadpool, quote unquote, in Wolverine Origins.
Stop.
Right?
Ew.
Right? That was everyone's first interpretation that didn't know what Deadpool was. Yeah. But then people were like, "Oh, this is amazing. Like, I love this movie." Mm-hmm. So that's the thing, is now that it was a better movie, people brought it into Marvel, I guess, because it's Sony.
Yeah,
but
he's with Disney now.
But it's like
bought now.
It was bought.
Right. No, it's bought.
Yeah,
that's true. But anyway, that's what I would have to say. You have to kind of grade this like a movie outside the MCU. But just like how I've always said also too, is that we've been spoiled. I will repeat that till the day I die.
Yeah.
We have been spoiled with this phase 1 through 3 of the MCU. And we're in 4 now, and like we've sort of still been spoiled because we're still having those lingering characters throughout
and
this phase.
We had good series. Loki was
great.
Falcon and Winter
Soldier.
Yeah.
WandaVision.
Shang-Chi was a good new one though.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi
That's
was
true.
Great. Yeah.
But anyway, I think it is what it is, and I think you have to treat it like a movie outside the MCU, even though it's not. I know it's not, but we just kind of have to let this thing. You gotta let it play.
You're looking at it a little bit of a different lens. That's and it is what.
And I knew nothing about this. I had no expectations for it. Actually, most people at work were like, "You need to like," because we were talking about it. All my friends at work. I call them friends. They may not call me friends, but whatever. No, just kidding. They're like, you need to like, yeah. This is true. This is true. I convinced all of them. They all were like, well, at least one of them was just like, you need to go in there with like absolutely no expectations, just like see what it is, like clean slate. And I came out, I was like, it was a good movie. It wasn't a fantastic movie, but it wasn't the other movies that I say that are bad from the MCU.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Greg, what do you think?
Yeah, so I agree with it is what it is. I gave it about a 6. It is what it is. Probably my like 5th worst Marvel movie.
I agree with that.
It is what it is. But regardless, the reason why I say that is one.
Wait, what's your number?
I don't know
what level it is.
To be honest, I'd have to think a little bit, but it's probably like.
Is it in your top 5 worst Marvel movies?
It's definitely in my top 5.
Yeah, I'd say
it's in the top 5.
I'd say it's in my top 3 worst.
Okay. It may be 3 for me, but it's definitely top 5.
Well, anyway, so I say it is what it is. I do have a little bit of bias because I do like the Eternals. I have some background with them, so that's gonna color it a little bit. I also know that I'm excited and I trust Feige's direction. I'm excited to see how they use them more because I know that they are coming out with more Eternals movies.
Isn't that what he said? He's like, you guys just have to trust me.
Yeah, he did.
Like, pretty much that's what he said about Eternals. He's like, just trust me.
I feel like there's been recently more problems.
And I know you've said that, but
I've seen just this.
But ratio-wise, it's not though. Because
if you look at it, no, 1 through 3.
No, I'm just talking about Phase 4.
I don't know. Phase 4 ratio-wise compared to Phase 3 mistakes.
You've got Well, but here's the thing. So, and here's why, and this plays into my it is what it is because I'm actually happy that it wasn't very good. Like, and this is why I'm happy because for a while it seemed like Marvel was going to live or die by their formula.
Yeah,
and that's going to get boring.
Yeah,
and so they've got to try. They have to try. And if they're gonna try and break outside that formula, because this was very un-Marvel formula like. If they're gonna try and break outside that, they're going to have some flops. They're going to. So
I was also happy that it wasn't very good.
Oh yeah, I know. But I'm just saying
because we get to correct it then.
But what I'm saying is that it wasn't.
I get to yell.
It wasn't the best, but I liked their choices. I liked their trying. And I liked it enough to be like, okay. I'm glad they're letting their directors go and try things. Yeah. This was fun. Like I still thought it was fun. Like I didn't think it was amazing. I will own it because I am requiring myself to own every single Marvel movie. But it's like,
or you could just, pretend like it doesn't exist in the Marvel universe like this guy.
I get that it's like he's looking at it a little bit in a different lens. But
Today's the day.
Today's the
it is
day.
what it is.
The first time.
It is what it is. All right, well, if anything,
I'm your Huckleberry.
If anything, we got Henry Styles as Arrow set.
Okay, we're done.
Right.
And that's it.
Right?
But I'm just kidding.
Play us out.
Thanos' brother. Thanos' brother.
The
and
character is
Black Knight.
awesome, but Harry Styles, once
Oh
again,
my
why?
gosh.
Hey, but he could be good. He could be good in it. We haven't seen him acting much.
He was a
Turn his off. Just hit a whole button. Anything other than what he's saying right now.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening to another Comic Correction. We will have more coming out soon. And remember to be listening as we get closer and closer to our 100th episode, man. It's going to be legit.
100.
We're close.
Thanks for listening to the Legion of Comic Correction. Don't forget to check out our other episodes streaming everywhere you listen to podcasts. We're also on the major social platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just search Legion of Comic Correction.
That's right. And make sure to check out our Patreon for exclusive supporter specials at patreon.com/Legion of CC. New episodes come out every week. We'll see you guys next week, same time, same place, same Legion.